Allah says, if you do this one thing, I will take your imperfect actions and I will consider them perfect. Speak the entire truth. Now, is that scary, by the way, speaking the entire truth? It's terrifying. No, Allah said speak straight. What do you get from speaking the truth? Fine, you get a lot of problems, but what reward do you get? Allah says, يُصْلِحْ لَكُمْ أَعْمَالَكُمْ. So one of the most amazing small phrases in the Quran. Let me ask you this. Are our deeds perfect? Is my salah perfect? Is my dua perfect? Is my remembrance of Allah perfect? Was my hajj or is anything perfect? No. Allah says, if you do this one thing, I will take your imperfect actions and I will consider them perfect. يُصْلِحْ لَكُمْ أَعْمَالَكُمْ. One of its meaning is يُزَكِّي أَعْمَالَكُم. This is the Sahaba's understanding of this ayah. And the other meaning is يَتَقَبَّلْ حَسَنَاتِكُمْ, which means I will accept all of your deeds and consider them good even if they weren't as good. But you have to give me something first. If you give me this one thing, I will give you this in return. What will Allah give me in return? He will take my imperfect actions and He will consider them what? Perfect. He'll remove the impurities from them. So what does He want from me? He says, I want you to do this. اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا. That's the shart. يصلح لكم أعمالكم is the jawab al-shart. What's the condition? The condition is be mindful of Allah. Be mindful of Allah. And while being mindful of Allah, say things that are straightforward. Speak in a straightforward way. Speak in a way that is right. Speak in a way that is whole and is complete. The words are قُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. Now let me tell you what sadida means. Sadid actually is used in different ways in the Arabic language. A sad can also be al-khatam, like the lid on a bottle. When you cover the bottle and tighten it, so even if you flip the bottle, nothing comes out, that's also called a sad. Speak in a way that you said everything you had to say and nothing is left. It's completely covered. The subject is closed. You didn't say half the thing and you left half the thing. You ended the subject. You let it all out. You don't say, I'm going to tell them a little bit right now and let's see how they react, and then I'll say a little bit later and let's see how things go, and then I'll say a little bit. No. Speak the entire truth. Now, is that scary, by the way, speaking the entire truth? It's terrifying. It is terrifying, especially with those we love. Speaking the entire truth is absolutely terrifying. That's why Allah started by saying, اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا. Become mindful and fearful of Allah, so much so that the fear of people will leave you, and only then are you going to be able to say something that is straightforward. Then even when you're going to say something straightforward, sad in Arabic also means straightness, istiqamah, straightness. That's why there's difference of opinion about this poem. فَلَمَّا اسْتَدَّ سَاعِدُهُ رَمَانِي فَلَمَّا اشْتَدَّ سَاعِدُهُ رَمَانِي. There's two views. I like istadda. Like they talk about the poet talks about someone. He says, أُعَلِّمُهُ الرِّمَايَةَ كُلَّ يَوْمٍ. I taught him how to shoot arrows every day. Like he taught somebody archery every day. Yeah? He says, فَلَمَّا اسْتَدَّ سَاعِدُهُ رَمَانِي. When finally his shot became perfect, the first one he shot was me. And then he says, وَكَمْ أُعَلِّمُهُ مِنْ نَظْمِ الْقَوَافِي فَلَمَّا قَالَ قَافِيَةً هَجَانِي. And how much did I taught him poetry every day to make the poetry lines perfect. And his first poem was roasting me. But in that poem, he uses the idea of the shot being perfect, istadda, which is the same word in this ayah, قُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. That's why I was referring to that poem. The point that's being made here is we can speak in ways that are not straight. We can speak in ways, we're about to say something, and right at the right moment, you change the subject. What do you want to say? But I wanted to tell you that you are late for work. Last moment, the arrow changes direction. I wanted to tell you something about yesterday. What did you want to tell me about yesterday? Well, yesterday, it was raining. This is قُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. Means you have the courage to actually what? let it out. You have to actually be able to say. I wrote some things down about what possible situations you and I could be in. Sometimes it's what you truly feel. You're not letting, if Ummahatul Mu'mineen didn't say anything about the honey and said, I feel like you're spending less time with me than you are with her. And that bothers me. That would be qawlan sadida. That would be qawlan sadida. What can we do about that? Sometimes qawlan sadida is, I'm afraid of speaking directly about something, so I'm hoping they get it through hints. And when they don't get it through hints, then this is the new disease in the ummah that I've seen. If you don't want to speak directly, okay, I can't speak directly, it's too scary, I'm just going to make dua. Then you say, Ustad, I make so much dua, Allah doesn't answer my dua. What's your dua? That my father understands what I'm going through. Have you talked to your father? Have you met my father? The only thing I can do is make dua. No. You have to speak straightforward. No, I can't do that. That's why I'm making dua. So can you tell me some secret dua I can make that my dad will telepathically understand what I'm going? No, Allah said speak straight. Allah said be mindful of Allah and speak straight. And you know what we've done? We've turned dua into this justification for our cowardliness. I'm too scared to do the right thing, so I'm just going to make Allah do it. I just say, Allah help me with the situation. I can't. Yes, you can. Ittaqullaha wa qulu qawlan sadida. Then similarly, you have to be able to express, not just because of the fear of someone, sometimes we have the fear of hurting someone. Right? Even Rasulullah ﷺ is not afraid of his spouse, but he's afraid of hurting her feelings. So sometimes out of love of someone, you get away from qawlan sadida. Right? And you just want to be considerate to them, so you don't want to say anything. Oh, look, they're going through so much. They're so stressed at work. They have so many things going on. I don't want to tell them what I'm going through on top of that. Let me show mercy to them and let me not say anything because I'm looking out for them. Let me just tell you something. When you become silent because you're showing somebody else rahmah, who are you not showing rahmah to? Yourself. And when you do enough dhulm to yourself, eventually shaitan will get you. Or you will keep boiling and one day you will explode and the person will say, why didn't you tell me before? You say, I was quiet for you. And they'll say, for me? That's stupid. You should have said it. They're like, you don't appreciate how quiet I was? How would I know you were quiet? I didn't know you were quiet. I just thought you have a speaking problem. We think we're doing something for somebody else's sake. But you know what? Human beings cannot recognize that. We can't see the ghaib. You can't hide the truth because you're saving someone's feelings. Allah made them strong enough to be able, if Allah made you strong enough to speak the truth, He made them strong enough to hear the truth. You don't have to tell yourself, if I speak the truth, they will die. Life and death is in Allah's hands. Your words are not that toxic or that powerful that you can speak and people, like that doesn't happen. You don't have to over exaggerate the power of your words. And then some people are dramatic. So if you do tell your sister, hey, you know what you said the other day was wrong. And she says, I'm going to die. I can't believe you did this to me. You did this to me. If they do that, just make dua. Get them a glass of water and say, you'll get over it. It's okay. You can finish crying, then we can keep talking. Don't get intimidated by somebody else's emotional drama. Just because you said the right thing and somebody's having a huge reaction, and you're like, oh my God, I just ruined their life. No, you didn't. You just spoke the truth. And you were fearful of Allah. And by the way, it's so beautiful that Allah says, ittaqullaha wa qulu qawlan sadida, because if I'm going to say the right thing, there's the right way to say it too. And if I don't have taqwa of Allah first, I'm going to say it in a cruel way, or I'll say it in a ruthless way. I'll say it in an angry way, or a harsh way, or a resentful way. But if I have taqwa of Allah and I say the right thing, even if I'm saying something difficult, I will say it respectfully, because I have taqwa of Allah. So that first part of the ayah protects me from saying something in the wrong way.